All right, very excited to be joined by our next guest. Listen, this guy likes all the Boston teams. That's all right. You know, he's a Celtics guy, a Patriots guy, but also big friends with our guy, Jimmy Butler. He's got a new movie coming out, Father Stu, which is available in theaters this week. And an amateur boxer turned priest, Mark Wahlberg, kind enough to join us here on the program. Mark, what led you to this story to lead to the movie about Father Stu?
You know, it was just such a compelling story. I felt like it would make for an amazing film and really touch a lot of people. So, a priest of all people was pitching in this movie at a dinner, and here we are 6 years later, finally got the movie made.
Now, Mark, you were down here in Miami. We're down here in Miami. You were down here pretty recently to a Heat game to see your guy, Jimmy Butler. How did you enjoy your experience watching Jimmy on the Heat?
It was great, man. He's incredible. I'm worried for the Celtics if they run into those guys in the playoffs. It's a problem.
Really? Okay, so you because I feel like everybody's been going Celtics. They seem like they got this thing. We were all down here in Miami saying, I feel like we're getting disrespected. They've been the 1 seed all year, and everybody's ready to hop on the Celtics bandwagon. You think the Heat might be a problem?
The Heat are looking pretty good. We'll see. It's interesting now. The East is pretty stacked.
Yeah, it's as good as it's been, man. Like the East, everybody was vying for that 1 seed for like the last 3 weeks. Super stacked, and I don't know. It's funny because it's always been like West, 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 and now finally it's all flipped over to the Eastern Conference. Yeah,
well, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think anybody's going to beat Phoenix coming out of the West. So,
yeah, they've been monsters. How did the relationship with Jimmy Butler start up, and then how have you guys stayed close over the years?
Jimmy and we became friends in Chicago when he was playing for the Bulls. I was going to the practice facility to play a basketball game. They were going to let us use the practice court, and I was getting ready to do a movie called The Gambler. So I was gambling. I had a big money game on the basketball court, and then all of a sudden Jimmy comes walking out, and he says he's playing, and I'm playing these guys 2-on-1, right, full court. And then all of a sudden, Jimmy wants to play. So then they put some other guy who I don't think ever played in a game on the team. You know that they always have that one guy on the team, right? And this guy. So I'm like, this guy's going to be on my team, and we played the game, and Jimmy lost. So that's how that happened. I hit a couple big deep threes real quick. He didn't even know that I could play, and he was like, "Oh," and he's trying to chase me around. And then we just became buddies. We went out to dinner and hung out. They came by the set of Transformers. And then, he was always kind of impressed about my work ethic and asking me about, why I work so hard and I grind so hard and my schedule and all that stuff. And then I told him we were going to Europe. And I invited him. I said, if you want to come, we're all going because we were going on a promo tour. And then I hadn't spoken to him. And then, I don't know, it was like a month later, I walked down the stairs. We're getting ready to go to the airport, and there's Jimmy with his bag. And I'm like, oh, shit, I completely forgot. And then he came and traveled with us, and, just to see the level of success that he's had when he really kind of went into it deep and as far as the preparation, his training, and all that stuff. So that's how we became friends, and, he's friends with, my family, so.
That's very cool, man. Thanks for the insight. Just like when you've seen him come down here in Miami, like he was going through a lot of different teams for a little bit there, like a different team every year. Like, were you happy for him? Because it felt like the marriage down here in Miami has been really good. Like his work ethic, the Heat culture kind of thing. Have you talked to him about like maybe how happy he is down here?
Yeah, he loves it. Well, Karan Butler's also a very, very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And so to see those guys together too, it's amazing.
Are you still doing the Karan Butler story? Because his story is so sick. I mean, everything that he's been through.
Yeah. We're hopefully. It's frustrating too because Stu took 6 years to make. The Fighter took 6 years to make. We've been working on Karan's for quite some time, but now we've got a filmmaker who's working on the script, and so hopefully we'll be making it this year.
Very cool. Talking to Mark Wahlberg, you guys can see his new film, Father Stu's coming out. It's going to be only in theaters this week. Starting up Holy Week, you got the great story coming out. Also, by the way, you got Uncharted, which is going to be available on Blu-ray, DVD coming out on May 10th. So check that out on April 26th and then on DVD on May 10th. So check that on out as well. Now, Mark, I'm curious about this. You have a relationship with Tom Brady, a lot of great Boston athletes. Have you heard the rumors that have gone on with this whole retirement, unretirement? Did you hear the rumors about possibly Tom Brady owning a piece of the Dolphins and then becoming a part owner of the Dolphins? Have you heard any of that stuff, and what did you make of all of that?
Well, I know what I've heard, but I can't share it with you.
Come on, Mark. Come on. What you got? What you got? Wants to be down here?
I can't. I was surprised it took that long for him to come back. No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've heard lots of things, but I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I will definitely root for Tom if they're not playing the Patriots. But look, he won 7 Super Bowls. Let the guy do whatever he wants.
Yeah, you don't want to, it's one of those things where he's done so many great things for your team. You don't want to be an ingrate. You want the guy to be happy, but it would be weird seeing him if he ever did end up with a divisional rival. That has to be very strange.
Stranger things have happened.
That's true. Yeah, very
strange things have happened. I mean, look at how many Red Sox, great Red Sox went to the Yankees to win their World Series. I mean, it drives me crazy.
So, will you, when you have a relationship with all these guys and they're thinking about going to a rival team, do you try and get input or do you stay out of business? What, you're really going to go to the Yankees?
No, I don't. Listen, I learned a long time ago. It's professional sports. It's business. The guys got to do what's best for them, for their families. Obviously, I'm a fan, but I don't get the kind of stress that I used to get when I was a kid, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Mark, before we get you out of here, man, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I always love seeing you around on the 24/7s with Manny Pacquiao. You were always around the camps, and when Manny his career came to an end after the Yordenis Ugas fight. He's going off to do God knows what with his great reach in the Philippines. But do you have just a favorite Manny Pacquiao boxing memory, one that just really sticks with you that meant a lot to you?
Oh my gosh, that Ricky Hatton fight. Freddie Roach told me too. I was with him in the before the fight. He goes, "This guy's not getting out of the second round," and I was like, "You sure? Second round?" And it was 2:59 in the second. He was out.
Man,
he was out. And I don't gamble, but for some reason, because we're in Vegas, we're like, "Oh, it's 40-1 odds. It's second round. You got to bet. And I didn't bet, but that was pretty incredible.
Freddie told you. Anything else, Mark, before we get you out of here? Father's 2 coming out this week in theaters that you want to say about the project?
Yeah, I'm just so excited for people to see it. It really is inspiring so many people. It's touching. Every person who sees the movie is touched by it in a very personal way. Obviously, people have been through a lot, especially in these days. So it's nice to see how much inspiration people are getting from it.
Is it how tough is it for you, or how emotional is it for you getting invested into these guys, doing the fighters 6 years on a project? It feels like you're pouring everything into it and then want to do right by the people who are going to see it on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, look, you take on a big responsibility when you're telling these true stories, and I handle them with respect and sensitivity, of course, and lots of effort and lots of love go into making them, for sure.
Well, I appreciate the time, Mark. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you, bud.
There you go. Mark Wahlberg. Jimmy Butler loves it here. Told you guys. I feel like, he's riding with the Celtics. Obviously, that's his team. But it kind of sounds like his number 2 team is the Miami Heat because Jimmy Butler's his guy. So, I don't know. That's just what I deduced from it. I'm just kind of going with it. And it kind of feels like he knows Tom Brady was going to come to the Dolphins. I mean, I know we couldn't pull it out of him, but it kind of feels like Mark Wahlberg was about to tell us Tom Brady was going to be a Miami Dolphin, which they're friends, so I didn't want to tell him that would make him sick to my stomach because I was going to kiss up to him like a fan to a Hollywood sycophant. But that's what I read. That's how I read the story. All right. Thanks to Mark Wahlberg for joining the show.